Michael Ray Miller wants to know, who do you guys see as the next Steven Spielberg?
Wow, I mean, it's hard not to say certain names, like whether it's a possibility of Christopher Nolan. You know, I'm not going to say Zack Snyder. I'm not going to say, well, a number of guys I'm not going to say. But Christopher Nolan's really, really good. Soderbergh, once he stops pretending that he's retired, is really David Fincher. Could go. David Fincher's still really young.
Right.
Who are some names that pop into your head?
You know, that's to me, there is no other Steven Spielberg. So
Yeah,
I mean,
no, it's
unfortunately
true.
for me, I don't have a name that pops in my head. I was like just thinking about even Nolan. It's like, yeah, he's got about 5 films and he's produced 2 films. At his age, where Spielberg was, at where Nolan is now, he's directed like 15 films and had produced like 4 television series and 10 movies. So you can't really, there is no other Steven Spielberg. Love him or hate him, that guy is a monster as far as making films, quality films, different kinds of films, totally different genres. He's done all of them. So, I mean, I really can't say that he's in a comparable bracket. He's just like Spielberg.
No, you're right. It's hard because Spielberg, you're talking about a guy who, we say this all the time, but the diversity of his films too. This is the guy, and you're talking about some of the all-time great Hollywood movies, whether it's Jaws, Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T.,
Close Encounters.
Close Encounters. Then you get some the more modern era with kind of things where you're talking about
Lincoln, The Color Purple.
Lincoln, Saving Private Ryan. Yeah. I mean, it's just the list goes, literally, it goes on
AI.
and on and on
Minority
and
Report,
on and on. And he's done comedy, he's done fantasy, he's done action, he's done genre, and he's succeeded in all of them. And a guy like Christopher Nolan hasn't done that yet.
No.
A Christopher Nolan film is very much a Christopher Nolan film, you know? And that's not a bad thing. It's just, you know, you can tell. Martin Scorsese film is very much a Martin Scorsese kind of film.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see when we can get another director who can do everything excellently.
You mentioned Scorsese. He's in a bracket unto himself, but he's close to Spielberg because he's produced a lot of television shows.
Yeah.
He's taken on like the Martin Scorsese Presents, like bringing in some films from overseas, getting people more aware of certain smaller films. So he's doing that.
He's a giant.
Yeah.
There's no doubt he's a giant.
He's a lot of these guys, when you say, who's the next, you know, blah, 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 like you might say, there is none. There is simply Martin Scorsese
well, we've talked
or
about this
Spielberg.
before. If let's revisit this, because maybe our answers will be different. About 5 or 6 months ago, somebody asked you and me the question, if there was a Mount Rushmore of directors, who would be on it? And I that may change from time to time. If I had to answer that right now, I would say Spielberg, Hitchcock, Scorsese, and either Coppola or Kubrick. I'm going to go Kubrick. So that would be my Mount Rushmore of directors right now. What would yours look like?
It can only be 4, right? Because they never finished the 5th
I
one,
mean,
right?
I could list off 10, but
there should be 26 faces on that mountain.
If there's that mountain of the ultimate standard of excellence in directing, whose faces are on there?
Orson Welles.
Oh, Orson Welles is a good one.
I would chuck. I'm not going to say Charlie Chaplin just because I don't rewatch as many. I loved every Charlie Chaplin film he's ever made, but do I rewatch them all? No, I rewatch Welles' films. Kubrick, so I'll say Welles, Kubrick.
You don't put Spielberg on there?
You know, that's a tough one. I mean, every single Spielberg film, I grew up with Spielberg, so I could put him on there. But I'm also tempted to put on like a rogue director like David Lynch, you know. So I'll do that. I'll say David Lynch, Spielberg, Welles, and Kubrick.
I mean, there's so many guys who could be up there, right?
It's a real tough one. Yeah, Coppola is incredible. You know, Cronenberg hasn't been that great for me the last couple films, but his early work just as far as
outstanding.
Yeah, so.
All right, what's next?
I now want to go home and watch Clockwork Orange so bad. Okay, Brett Cogan wants to know, could you guys see Jared Leto playing the Joker or the Riddler?
I got to be honest with you. I don't really get into these questions too much of, could you see this actor play the Joker? I mean, I could see any actor play any role if they're good and they can morph into it. So Jared Leto, sure, he's a great actor. So I could see him doing it. Would he be the best guy for it? I don't know, but we didn't know that Heath Ledger would be the best guy for it either. So who knows? I mean, look, if I'm a producer and a casting director comes and I'm making a Batman film and I've got a Joker and a casting director came to me and said, okay, we were able to get Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Am I happy? Yeah, I'm happy. It's a great name. But anyway, what do you think?
Yeah, actually, it's funny because Dennis Zhang had mentioned something like on a post earlier somewhere. I remember, it just popped into my head. He said, "Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch would be a good Joker because he has a long face." And I just remember, like, he does. He has a long face, and so he kind of fits into that Jim Aparo drawing of the Joker, and you know. So I mean, yeah, the Joker can literally be played by any actor. I think any good actor, if they, you know, if they have a spin on the Joker and they're able to do it, and they're a good actor in the quality level, you know, that we're used to, I wouldn't be afraid of any casting of the Joker, except like we've talked about, you know, Gilbert Gottfried as the Joker. I don't know. What are you making here? You know, I'd be worried. So.
All right, let's fire through a couple more.
Rodney Hurd wants you to get your Star Wars on because he wants to know what you all think is the best and worst lightsaber duel in the Star Wars saga.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk, it depends on best. If you want to talk best in terms of choreography, I think the Qui-Gon Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul fight was the best one. If you want to talk what was the best in terms of best to watch, most dramatic, brought you in, obviously it's the Luke versus Darth Vader in the Emperor's Chambers, right? Yeah. That, I mean, because with the music and everything, that is just the most. And, you know, a lot of people, one of the things, look, I'll talk openly about some of the things that I think were good about the prequels, even though as a whole they are human refuse.
Right.
I loved the Yoda lightsaber fight.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't like that he was a flippy ninja, but I thought, you know, think about it. He's a tiny little thing. If he's going to fight full-size dudes, what does he have to have on his side? Agility, speed, dexterity, all that kind of stuff. He's got to have that. Yeah. And I got to admit, I got a big kick out of watching the Yoda fights in the prequels too.
Fighting the Emperor. I've rewatched. That
Emperor fight was pretty cool.
I've rewatched that sequence. Like the Emperor fighting Yoda was way better than Kenobi fighting Anakin Skywalker, jumping around on lava,
that fight was terrible.
Floating on lava and stuff. I was like, I'm so bored. But Yoda fighting the cackling, weird electricity,
throwing the things at him,
chucking it, and a little baby Yoda trying to escape. You're like, don't. At least we knew Yoda was going to live. It was like, I've already seen the future Star Wars. He's not going to die. But you're still worried for him. And he's going to get
But here's what kills me, though. I'm glad you brought up that fight, and we might have mentioned this before. That lightsaber fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin, which is a lightsaber fight Star Wars fans had been waiting for decades to see, right? It was a terrible lightsaber fight. It was so ridiculous, but they're all over the place, right? They're fighting on mountainsides and in this thing here, and up there, flipping around, blah, blah. And then Obi-Wan, they're standing on a slight slanty ground. Obi-Wan is standing about a foot higher and says, "Give it up, Anakin. I have the high ground."
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, are you effing kidding me?
Can't you jump like 600 feet with your force powers?
I have the higher ground.
Like, and they've shown Jedi could be like, I mean, Anakin could have literally been like right behind him while give it up. I have the like right behind him. They
lightsaber through your stomach.
Yeah, super fast, insane fast running. Remember, Phantom Menace are like running around all quick.
I mean,
where did that flash power go?
Where did all this 15-foot spinning summer? Oh yeah. Anyway, okay, let's take one more and we'll call it a day. I caught Chrisley off guard.
No! JC Collins wants to know, after Paranormal Activity, the marked ones, are we finally done with the Paranormal Activity series?
Nope. No, as long as these things cost $1.50 to make and they make them $100.
Yeah.
And if I'm the head of Paramount, I keep making them until people say, we're tired of seeing these, and how does we've said this before, how do the audience communicate to the studio with your dollars? So until the audience says to the studio, we're not interested anymore, then they're going to keep making them, and they should keep making them. Why not? Right. If people are still going, that means there are people who want to see it. Why not give it to them?
Yeah, so the marked one's like part 6 or something?
I can't remember. I've lost track.
They should make a 7, 8, and 9, just, you know. Literally, they could just drop them all, like, you know, every holiday they should have a paranormal Easter, paranormal Christmas.
Paranormal Martin Luther King Day.
Paranormal Christmas activity, you know, like weird ghost. It's near the Christmas tree, you know. It'd be awesome.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.